Hello students, today we will discuss the fourth chapter of class 12 history book of NCERT of book 1. Actually this first book contains four chapters. First chapter of Harappan culture, second chapter is related with the political history between 6th century BC to 6th century CE. In the third chapter we studied about the economic history between 6th century BC to 6th century CE. And in this fourth chapter, we will discuss about the cultural history or the cultural development between 6th century BC to 6th century CE. So the second, third, and fourth chapter are interrelated because they belong to the same period. Let us start with the first topic of this fourth chapter, a glimpse of Sanchi. Sanchi is located around 30 kilometers northeast of Bhopal, and it is famous for the stupa which was built by the order of Ashoka. In fact, the 19th century Europeans were very much interested in this stupa. Whether French or British, they wanted to take some items of this stupa to their own country to preserve, to put it in the museums. But fortunately, by the rational role of the ruler of Bhopal, Sultan Jahan Begum and Shah Jahan Begum, this site was preserved, and these Europeans were agreed to take away only the plaster cast mold of the things they were looking for, and the original things remained at the site. In fact, the rulers of Bhopal, they provided financial support for making a museum over there. Sultan Jahan has funded for the making of guest house over there, and in this guest house John Marshall prepared the volumes over Sanchi, which was further funded for the publication of these volumes by Sultan Jahan Begum. Now come to the topic second, the background. The background means here we'll discuss the background on which the rise of heterodox sect other than Brahmanical Orthodox sect. The backgrounds related with the sacrifice and the debates. In fact, the first line here is itself is a question. The mid first millennium BC is often regarded as a turning point in the world history. It oftenly asked in 3 marks by the CBSE. It is very important. This around 6th century BC means the mid first millennium BC. We found that so many thinkers in different parts of the world emerged. For example, Zarathustra belonged to this period, was from Iran. Similarly, Kongji from China, Plato, Aristotle, uh, Socrates, they were in Greece, and Mahavira and Buddha from India. They all belongs to this period. Then these thinkers actually they try to understand the mystery of the existence and the relationship of human being among themselves as well as with the cosmic order. This was also the time when the new kingdoms like 16 Mahajanpadas you have already studied, uh, and the new cities like Patliputra, Shruvanagiri, Toshali, Takshila, Ujjaini were developed. At the same time, the social and economic life were getting changed in around the Gangetic Valley. So, the sacrificial traditions actually, the oldest book of Indo-European language is the Rig Veda, which was compiled around 1500 BC to 1000 BC. This Rig Veda consists of hymns in praise of three kinds of god. One is the terrestrial god like Som. Another is the intermediary god, the god between the celestial as well as the terrestrial, that is called, the best example is Agni. And the third is the celestial or aerial god, that was for the that's example is Indra. So three kinds of god were mentioned, and the hymns related with these gods were written down in this Rig Veda. And these hymns were chanted during the time of sacrifice, initially collectively for the sake of cattle, sons, good health, long life, etc. But later on, it was these sacrifices were done individually. By individually, it means at the household level. The family usually do the sacrifices at home. At the same time, the with the rise of kings, the new kingdoms or the powerful kings, they started uh, doing the various big sacrifices in the form of Rajsu Yag, Ashwamedh Yag, uh, for the sake of their strength, power. So, uh, if in general we look towards the Brahminical system, it became very much ritualistic as well as sacrificial. But at the same time, in the Brahminical system, the Upanishad uh, means learned by sitting nearby to someone. Upanishad, which was compiled around 6th century BC onwards, they show the people that they show about the people how they were curious about the meaning of the life, the possibility of life after death and rebirth. Issues like our past action is responsible for our rebirth. At the same time, they try to understand the ultimate reality. What is the ultimate reality? Uh, these issues were debated, these issues were concerned. Uh, Now, the debates and discussions. When these issues came up, people not only from the Brahminical system, from non-Brahminical system, they all started debating. Uh, for example, the Buddhist text, it mentioned that at that time there were 64 sects. There were 64 group of religious leaders or school of thoughts who had lively debate and discussions at different places. Actually, these debates, it mentioned that it took place in the Kuta Gadasala, literally a hut with a pointed roof, uh, where the different mendicants or philosophers meet, and they do shastras. हम कहते हैं शास्त्रार्थ. Actually, some of the students they were demanding कि सर थोड़ा हिंदी में भी करिए. So instead of putting completely in Hindi or English, I will try to uh, rather say in the modern terms of WhatsApp English. So शास्त्रार्थ होता था इस प्लेस पे. And if a teacher able to defeat the other one, that teacher become the shishya of the winner teacher. So the two teachers important of this period was the Mahavira and the Buddha. They question even the authorities of Veda. They emphasize, instead of Brahminical system who talked about the intermediaries, role of intermediaries means as a Brahmins for taking blessing from the god, these teachers who are belong to heterodox sect, they focused upon the individual efforts. They questioned the authority of Veda. They emphasized upon the individual efforts of men and women to attain liberation from the trials and tribulations ऑफ दिस वर्ल्डली एग्जिस्टेंस। दिस मोह माया की नगरी से निर्वाण प्राप्त करने के लिए वो इंडिविजुअल एफर्ट की बात करते थे। Whereas we know in the Brahminical system, the individual existence was determined by his or her birth, from which her belong to a specific caste. Now, let us start with the next topic. This topic is related with the message of Mahavir or message of Jainism in general, beyond this worldly pleasure. Actually, we know in Jainism there were 24 teachers known as Tirthankars, literally who means who guide the men and women across the river of existence. And the first Tirthankar was Risavdev. The 23rd Tirthankar was the Parshvanath, and the 24th, the last one, was Mahavira. Now, we will discuss the teachings of Jainism in general, which is oftenly asked in the examination of CBSE. The most important idea of Jainism is that the whole world is animated. Animated means whether it is stones, water, rocks, even that have also life. So the core of Jainism was non-violence, that is non-injury to living beings, especially to human, to animals, plants, and insects. Now the third one, it talked that the birth and rebirth is shaped by your karma, and people can be free from this karma through the asceticism and penance. And this asceticism and penance can be achieved through renouncing the world and joining the monastic order of Jainism. Now, as a monks or nuns in the monastery life, every monks and nuns of monastery has to take 5 vows. 5 प्रण लेने होते थे। पहला था abstain from lying, झूठ नहीं बोलना, abstain from stealing, चोरी नहीं करना, abstain from killing, यानी किसी की हत्या नहीं करना, abstain from possessing property, यानी धन का संग्रह नहीं करना, एंड 5वां जो इम्पोर्टेंट था जिसको ऐड किया था महावीर ने जैनिज्म में, दैट वाज ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ सेलिबेसी, यानी ब्रह्मचर्य का पालन. सो 5, abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from lying, abstain from possessing property, and the 5th one is observation of celibacy. So, and Jain scholar, they created a wealth of literature in a variety of languages, whether it is Prakrit, Sanskrit, Tamil, and gradually Jainism spread to different parts of the country. Thank you.